Yo, I got a question. And before I ask it, I will first admit that I have been guilty of this in the past. And secondly, I will admit that, hey man, like I get it. This is what we just do on social media. Like our brains are completely warped. But like, who are y'all niggas posting your Spotify Wrapped information for? Like who are we doing this for? Like who are we trying to impress with the songs that we listen? I don't get this shit. And I've done it in the past. But like in retrospect, it's like nigga, like who gives a fuck if you listen to fucking Lemon Pepper Freestyle a whole bunch of times this year? What are you trying to communicate? That you're a fan of Drake? Like the people who know you would know that you're a fan of Drake, and then the people who don't care. The only explanation I have is that people are trying to impress people with like their music taste. But a lot of you niggas have basic ass music taste, and like you want it to like so I don't understand why you post your shit. Cause like it's like niggas will have your shit. It'll be like Drake, Travis Scott, SZA, Summer Walker, and fucking like Adele. And like so this is like the most basic run of the mill shit you could ask for. So like what cool man, you listen to Certified Lover Boy. So did millions of other people. I don't like what are we doing? I don't get it. I don't get it. Social media truly is the greatest poison ever unleashed on the public, though. It's insane. Like it's so effective because it's such a slow acting poison. It's a slow creep. You know what I mean? Like so like it could just destroy you, but like over time, like crack will fuck you up pretty instantly. Like the visual effects of crack won't be evident instantly, but it'll hook you in really fast. And then I mean, I don't know how fast it takes, how quickly, like I don't know how soon like crack users morph. I try not to use the term crackheads anymore because it's like that's degrading, man. Like it treats them like it's a different species of people, and it's like them niggas is humans, bruh. Like it's just they just using crack, man. It ain't their fault. I mean, it's their fault for doing crack, unless you was like born into the situation. I don't want to say a crack baby either, so I'm gonna say born into the situation. But you know what the fuck I mean. But niggas who just decided to do crack, that's nuts to me. Like in this era, like if you was in the '80s and you started doing crack, you ain't know no better. You just thought it was some new shit. You didn't know. You hadn't seen. I hate to use this term, crackheads before. You know what I mean? So you just thought you didn't know what you was gonna turn out to. But like niggas have been picking up crack since that point. Like okay, let's say like 6 months after. Let's say 6 months after crack hit the market, we started to see like what a crackhead was, right? So let's say crack hit in July of 1983, right? If you started doing crack after January 1984, what the fuck is wrong with you, dog? Like, what were you thinking? Like, that shit is insane to me. Like, nigga, you saw niggas selling TVs, my nigga. You saw niggas out on the block like at 4 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Talking to themselves. Like, I don't understand why you would decide like this is the fucking drug for me. But my point was, like, we see what happens to crack users and like heroin and shit. And like it happens pretty fast. But with social media, it's like you don't really end up like the visual, like you don't really look as bad. Like I ain't never seen a nigga sell a TV to get on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? However, I've seen a nigga like fucking embarrass themselves just as much, but it's not as like it's something you can recover from. Like it's very hard to recover from being a cracker. You can recover from having some just like clout chasing ass tweets. You know what I mean? Because you could just move to another section of the internet. You could make a new Twitter account. You could revamp your image. You could get off of Twitter. The people in your life might not have seen those tweets. You know what I mean? But like if you do crack and you move to another town, I don't even know if you got the resources for that. But even if you did, they gonna know like this nigga do crack. Like you mean you can't hide that shit. It's not like in the 1800s where like you could like commit a murder, just go to another town and just dress different. And they like nah, nigga. If you did crack in fucking Portland, if you did crack in New York and you moved to Portland, nigga, we know that you did crack, bro. We didn't have to know nothing about. Like we saw you upon on site. We knew you do crack, my nigga. Like on site, it would just be like, welcome to Portland, my nigga. Please lay off the crack. But yeah, social media is just like the way this shit is just like it just derails lives. But like Like I know for a fact if I never got on Twitter, I'd be very successful. And that's just my failure speaking, like trying to justify the fact that I'm still not successful. But it's like, bruh, Twitter has fucked my shit up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I say all this shit because I am living proof. You know what I mean? I'm a victim. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have 183,000 tweets. I don't know why. I've been on Twitter for fucking like 11 years, I think now. 11, 12 years. Like, it's that Pusha T line where he's like, we done balled through every era out this bitch. I done seen every Twitter era, bruh. I done seen it all. I seen it all, bruh. And I'm not proud to say that. Cause some niggas be like, y'all don't even remember the old Twitter. Y'all wasn't around for that. And it's like, that's a cool thing to talk about if you're not on Twitter no more. Because you don't know what the new Twitter looked like. You just know what the old Twitter was. You know what I mean? But like, for me, I have to experience all versions of Twitter. Like, Twitter sucks now. You know what I mean? But I'm still on there. Like, there's no excuse for me. It's just bad. Like, the things we do, it's just a waste of time. It's like truly a waste of time. The main reason I'm still on Twitter is because that's where I get my news from. Like, truly. Like, it's an incredible way to get every bit of information of anything that's happening in the world at the time. But in order to get that news, you have to subject yourself to just the inanities of fucking just the fucking incredibly absurd fucking shitstorm that is Twitter. Like, it's so bad. Like, the shit, like, what are we doing as a society? This shit sucks. We're dumb. We're fucking bad and dumb. Like, memes are dumb, and I laugh at memes like everybody else, but like, they're dumb, they're bad, everything sucks. Like, society is bad. Like we're in really bad shape. Like, you ever been like trying to record an Instagram story or something, and you fuck it up, so you keep doing take after take after take. Like, you ever like step back and look at yourself from outside yourself and like, nigga, what the fuck? Like, how insane would this look if I was like, if you was like a fucking like a nigga from like 200 years ago, if they saw you like, yo, what are you doing, bro? Like, why? Like, I mean, think about that sometimes. Like, what if a nigga from 200 years ago saw me like just like trying to get this fucking video right? Like, what would he say to me? He probably think I'm insane. Like, he might also have a lot of other thoughts like, what are you doing walking around free? No. I don't know, man. I don't even know what my point is. Twitter is bad. Oh yeah, this is one of the reasons why I came to that conclusion. I mean, I came to this conclusion years ago, but I was thinking about it this week. Because Virgil Abloh passed away. Rest in peace to Virgil. True legend, like straight up. But a lot of people were posting stuff, and they would say something like, I ain't even rock with a lot of Virgil's designs, but RP. It's like, nigga, why did you feel the need to say that, bruh? Like, just say rest in peace to Virgil. Like it's the thing on social media, and I think this goes back to the Spotify point. Is like feeling the need to like clarify your stance on something, or like assert that you are this type of person, no matter what, at whatever cost. It's like virtue signaling in a weird way. Like, it's like the same thing as like when like the era of time where everyone was like a male, like wearing a shirt that said like, I'm a male feminist. Like, just be a feminist through your actions. Like, wearing the shirt, they go like, why you gotta be so fucking like out front about it? You know what I mean? In a way that doesn't actually do anything. You know what I mean? Like, because wearing a shirt that says male feminist or whatever don't actually contribute to fucking women getting more rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be a feminist. So it's like one of the things was like, I want to say rest in peace because that's the thing I should say, but I can't let somebody think that I liked all of Virgil's designs, so I'll say this weird like, nigga, shut the fuck up. And like, I've been guilty of shit like that before, but it's like I'm really trying to take stock of like the shit that I say and do. And it's like, that's an insane thing to do. Like imagine saying that shit at somebody's funeral. Like, yeah, I thought some of Virgil's designs was whack, man, but like, I miss him nonetheless. It's like, you could have just said you miss him. Like, what would be so bad about somebody thinking you liked some of Virgil's designs that weren't good? Like, yeah, I mean, like, what does that matter? Like, what's the risk that you're taking and let somebody think that about you? Like, yeah, I mean, like, I think one of the things like social media is robbing of us is like I think social media robbed us of like the comfortability of somebody having an opinion of us that isn't entirely true. You know what I mean? Like we have to like curate every fucking aspect of our personality so no one ever gets misconstrued. Like nigga, it don't matter, bro. That shit don't really matter. Like that shit really, that really just disturbed me with the Virgil shit because it's like, who cares what your opinion of his work was during a time like this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like people was grieving over the guy, and you talk about like, yo, some of them shits like all his shit wasn't hard. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, man. I appreciate that, man. Cool. That's real cool that you said that, man. I appreciate that, man. My homie is dead, but I'm glad you had to tell me about what you thought about his design. Like, I don't give a fuck, nigga. Like, what? I just don't get it. I just don't. And I've been guilty of this in the past, but I really try to like truly assess like what is trying to be communicated in that moment. Like, you can just not like shit in silence. Like, just. And that's the other thing with social media, just robbing us. Like, just being silent, like having private opinions, just shutting the fuck up. Like we shouldn't know this stuff. Like, you know what I mean, like we shouldn't be like, there shouldn't be this level of like everything people post on social media is dumb. Like the Virgil thing really just affected me because it's like it was a surprising death. I mean, just complete shock. And whether or not you were into fashion, you know what I mean? It's just like, I mean, you don't really have to be into fashion to be aware of who Virgil was. And even if you weren't, it's like 41, man. That's so young. 41 is fucking young, bro. And it's just also like him being black just hurts even more. Like, cause I feel like I've said this before in this podcast. I don't have the data to back this up, but I feel like black people experience death at a rate higher than like a lot of other people, bro. Like black Americans, let me say. It might be true for around the world, but this is my personal anecdotal fucking evidence. I can name like infinite black celebrities, and I'm using celebrities because celebrity deaths are deaths that we all know about. You know what I mean? I could use you know what I mean, there's examples that are more personal with people, but celebrity, like think about how many black celebrities never made it to 50. Like that shit is crazy. It's an insane number. Like truly, if you think about it. And then if you go up to 60, like there's so many more that fit into that. I'm not saying like there are no white people or Spanish people or Asian people that didn't die young, but I feel like it just happens so much with black people, man. It's weird, nigga. Like who's the black Mel Brooks? Like that nigga Mel Brooks is like 98. He's still he's still working. Or like Kirk Douglas. I don't know if y'all know who Kirk Douglas is, but you might know the actor Michael Douglas. If you don't know who Michael Douglas is, I would don't have that to say to you. But anyway, Kirk Douglas was a famous actor in early Hollywood, and he died. I think it was 2 years ago at 103. We don't be having that like that. I think we only had like Cicely Tyson that was mad old. That's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. This just sucks, man. I don't know where I'm going with this, but rest in peace to Virgil. Appreciate your contributions to this earth. Time for some questions, and we out of here. First question: are chicken thighs over or underrated? What kind of question is this? I feel like they got to be underrated because if you would even dare to pose the question of them being overrated, that means you're not really appreciating the chicken thigh for all of its glory. You feel me? It's a magnificent cut of meat. What the fuck is you talking about? Couldn't possibly be overrated. You know what I mean? It's a delicacy. You know what I mean? Even Wingstop is doing thighs now.
Nah, we doing thighs.
Next question: what song do you have on repeat right now? It's not just one song. It's a 3-song EP by K-Tronada called Intimidated. Every song on there is just absolutely incredible. I think my personal favorite is the Makabe song, Pay for Haiti. And that's mainly because I'm a big Makabe fan. This nigga Mak pulled out so many flows on that song. He got Makabe on a dance beat. Like, if you don't know Makabe, you wouldn't understand why that's odd, but it's like, it doesn't sound odd. It sounds fucking amazing. It's one of the things where it's like, I want to hear, like, I love when, like, you are introduced to, when you see artists in a different space and you just recognize that, like they're capable of so much more. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that my comedy is underachieving or anything, but it's like, man, like that shit sounds great. I want to hear more shit like that. So yeah, Kate Renata's Intimidated EP. Great little 3-song EP. He's got her, Thundercat, and my copy on him, and all the songs are bangers. What is some sci-fi I would suggest for someone trying to get into sci-fi? I mean, honestly, sci-fi is one of those things where you just kind of just got to jump in and just learn how to swim. You know what I mean? I mean, there's some stuff that's like super like hard sci-fi that's very difficult to parse, but that's true for even people who read sci-fi. But I guess if you wanted to get into sci-fi, I would start with Foundation. It's very straightforward and pretty simple, but very well executed. It's like one of the earliest instances of like what we think of like a galactic empire or something like that. I think Isaac Asimov pretty much invented it in the Foundation series, and it's fairly easy reading, but it's complex ideas at work, so it's really good. Next question: what's some advice you would give to high school you? Don't ever get on Twitter. Next question: who's the best Robin? Come on, man, it's Dick Grayson. We know this. Next question: what do I think about cultural appropriation? It's tough because on one hand, I kind of feel like cultural appropriation is like what society is based on in a lot of ways, but on the other hand, it's like I understand why people get pissed off when cultural appropriation happens, because like that shit doesn't feel good to get your shit robbed, but it's like that's how we get fucking pasta. You know what I mean? Like we think of pasta as an Italian dish, but Italians got noodles from the Chinese. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, I don't know how much credit was given to the Chinese people when it was brought back to Italy, so I can't really say if it's cultural appropriation in the way we think of it today, but it's cultural appropriation. You know what I'm saying? But like, is stuff designed to be kept in one culture? Not necessarily, but I think the issue with cultural appropriation is often like it'll be something like with braids or something like, right? Black people don't own cornrows, right? But when someone like Kim Kardashian or something like, or Katy Perry or whatever has cornrows, and then you'll see in like Vogue and it's like, oh, this new hairstyle. I was like, that's what people be pissed off about. I was like, nigga, that's our shit. You know what I mean? And it's not like Kim Kardashian necessarily said, like, she didn't say that, but the magazine said it, and so it gets blamed on Kim Kardashian as cultural appropriation. And is that her fault? Like, should she stand up and say something? Yes, but also the people who run the magazine should be doing research to know that like that's not what it is. But also, ultimately, what difference does it make? This just braids. You know what I mean? But I can understand why people get pissed off. Like, it's just a weird thing. But, bruh, yeah, I mean, like, cultural appropriation is kind of what like that's how everything happens. You know what I mean? Like, nigga, you ever had Tex-Mex cuisine? You know what I mean? Like, that's cultural appropriation to a T. Nigga, you ever had like a sushi Rito? It's all cultural appropriation. It's just like I guess the difference is how much things are being respected. You know what I mean? And honored. Next question is IMAX worth it? IMAX is definitely worth it. You know what I mean? Like it really does make a difference. But also fuck IMAX. Like I mean, like it's not that you need to see only in IMAX or it's not worth it. Because if you made something you can only see it's only worth seeing in IMAX, then it's probably a piece of shit. Because like nigga, you like that's not. Most people don't have access to IMAX, you know what I mean? Or if they do, they don't want to spend that money. So it's like, IMAX is worth it, but also if you don't want to watch something in IMAX, fuck it. Whatever, dog. Next question, what's something most people are not ready to hear? You're never going to be rich. Even if you were going to be rich, financial freedom is not like your way out of like your problems. The idea of financial freedom in its own right is just kind of bullshit. Like, most of our problems are our own fault as a society. Like, we need to fucking gather together to prevent a lot of shit that's happening from happening, but we're not doing it because it's not as convenient for us. Like even if even convenience is is a problem. You know what I mean? Like think about, like, we all know Amazon sucks, right? We all still use Amazon. Why? Because it's convenient. But how convenient do we need shit to be? Like 2-day shipping, right? Like, why do we need 2-day shipping? Why don't we just like plan in advance for something that we need instead of waiting for it? Like, we don't need it in 2 days, but we would like it in 2 days. But like, that's the sacrifice you got to make in order to make shit better. You know what I mean? Like, even something like veganism, right? Like, most people are not gonna ever become vegan because why? Because they like meat. They don't want to stop eating it. That's fine. Whatever. Fuck it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're totally allowed to like meat. But at the same time, cutting back on how much meat you eat could be beneficial to the earth, but people don't even want to do that. You know what I mean? Like if you ate, let's say you ate meat with every day of the week, 7 days a week. If you ate meat 4 days a week instead of 7, you made a point to do that, you would make a positive contribution to the earth. But people don't want to do this shit like that. They want to just do what they want to do because that's the way they did it. And yeah, I mean, or it's not convenient for them to not do shit. But it's like, nigga, that's the ugly truth about life. It's like shit's not gonna be convenient all the time. Shit's not always gonna be like comfortable and fun. But that's the sacrifice we make for it to make it better for everybody. Yeah, I mean that's how you do. Final question: why are you making this podcast? Who is it for? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? I mean, that's a good question, man. That's a question I ask myself every week. To be honest, like, what the fuck why am I doing this? You know what I mean? Like, I got the numbers. I'm like, maybe I should stop doing this. But then sometimes people will say like, "Oh, don't stop. You got to keep going." I've used this example with a few people lately. It's like, you ever see that meme online where it'll be like two people like mining for diamonds, right? And there's one guy and he quits, and like right before the other side of, if he would have kept going for a little bit longer, he would have reached the diamonds. And there's another guy and he's like going super hard because he's like trying to get to the diamonds. But it's like, my problem with that meme is sometimes there aren't diamonds. You know what I mean? In that cave, you know what I'm saying? But then like, and the idea is, well, if you don't keep going to another cave and keep fucking mining, you'll never get diamonds. But it's like, nigga, it's like, you're not allowed to be tired. You're not allowed to say like, you know what, like maybe I'm gonna go looking for emeralds. Nigga, maybe I'm gonna be a fisherman. And maybe I just want to fucking sell insurance. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at some point, that shit is exhausting. You know what I mean? So ask myself that question a lot. Like, what is my goal? I mean, obviously, I would like it to be a successful podcast. That's what I would like to accomplish. Honestly, if I could just transition, like, just having the movie podcast be good and like successful, that would be enough for me. That's what I really want to do. This podcast I do. Why do I do it? Is because it's something to do. 1, 2, I got a good response to the first couple episodes I put out, and 3, it's like I need to get some creative pursuit off the ground, and this is one avenue for it that I think is easily shareable. Like, I write, but people don't share writing. People don't read like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's harder to get people to look at that than it is to get so many people looking at a podcast. I mean, it's proven pretty difficult to get people looking at a podcast as well, but it's easier to get them to do that than read some of my writing or come to my shows and shit. So it's just, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. That's something I gotta consider myself. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna do it. Honestly, I'm definitely gonna go until I get to a year, which will be in January. And then I might fucking reevaluate. But I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know why I do this shit. Because it's something to do, I guess. That's this. I didn't want to end this segment on a downer like that. But fuck it. That's the segment. That's the episode. Like, subscribe, share, save, tell a friend. I know telling a friend is sharing, but I need to just say it directly. Like, tell a motherfucking friend. What else? If you're watching this the day it comes out, then tomorrow, December 3rd, I'm headlining the Elbow Room in West Hartford, along with my friend Dan Cowhite and my other friend Mustafa Musa and Caitlin Reese, and motherfucking Ish Gupta is hosting that motherfucker. It's going to be a fun time. I am very funny. I'm a great stand-up comedian. Very good at stand-up comedy, and dozens can confirm that. So come to that show. If not, come to another show in the future. Shout out to the homie Kelly. She know who she is. She got me on the show in Harlem a couple weeks ago, and that shit went great. And I thanked her directly, but I just want to thank her again. I don't know if she watches the podcast, but if she do, shout out to Kelly. And that's it. As always, Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.